Hello and welcome back to my scraproom. My name is Jennifer Perry and I am an independent consultant with Close to My Heart. And today we're going to be working out of the Holiday Expressions catalog. This catalog is available from September 1st until December 31st of 2018. And we're going to be working with the 'Tis the Season paper pack. We have already done all of the cutting for this, so if you need the cutting guide, if you need to watch the cutting guide, go ahead and refer back to the last video that I did. It is really cleverly titled 'Tis the Season Cutting Guide. Really easy to find. All it is a video of how to walk through the cutting guide to make this workshop. So for this set of pages, I'm going to be doing it a little bit differently than the example. And pardon me, there is a fly in my room buzzing around, so if you see it zoom across the screen, that's what it is. It won't go away. And there it goes. So I had the back door open all day today, and it decided it wants to hang around my lights. So I'm not going to be doing the workshop exactly the way it is on the cutting guide, and I also have photos this time, which is very, very rare for me to actually have photos. And then what I'm going to do is I've got these stickers because I work with several albums at one time, so I've got stickers to tell me what layouts these albums go into. So I'm going to put my stickers on the backs. And that way when I'm finished, if they happen to end up in a pile, I'll know exactly what pile or what album they're supposed to go in. The second thing I do is I separate all of the papers. So we've got that one goes there, that one goes there, that one goes there, that one goes there. That fly is bugging the baloney out of me. That one goes there, that one goes there, that one goes there, that one goes there. That goes there, that goes there, and where do these go? I'm going to set these aside for just a moment. I think those might be scraps. So the other thing that I do is I take the right side of the page and I move it on over. So I'm not going to have the 5x7 here, but what I am going to have are two 3x4s. Because I didn't have a 5x7. So I'm going to modify the layout to fit the photographs that I have. Just like that. So instead of one 5x7, I'm able to get two 3x4s. And I may go and just trim this up a little bit. I may not. I don't know yet. So now, I need to put, what is the distance? 3.5 from the top. So take my fancy little ruler here. 3.5. I'm just going to mark it right there so it's hidden. And the first one I'm going to do is this one. line up the first one is always hard when you're trying to keep your head out of frame. So there's the first one, and then this one is next. And then this one is next. Then the green. Yep, my eyeballs might just be playing a trick on me. There we go. That'll work. Now, I'm not going to do anything else. I'm going to stop right there because I'm going to show you something different. So I'm going to just put this aside and grab this side. Do it again. I'm going to measure 3.5. And the first one is going to be the skinny black. Let's see if I can work this out a little straighter this time. And then the red. And then plaid. If I start waving my hands like a mad woman, that fly is landed on me. And then the green. Last one. I'm not worried about how much adhesive I'm using, and I'll show you why. Now, I'm not worrying about how much adhesive I'm using because I'm going to be stitching. So let's put those aside for a second and let's put this here. Okay, so a trick that I use to line everything up perfectly is this. Trim that off so that fits perfectly like that. And then I take the other two and line them up this way. So now I can take this side trim a half a hair off that side, and trim half a hair off that side. And then it fits perfectly right there. And I do not have to worry about my photos being off center. So, for this next part, you're going to need some sort of cork or pokey mat or something of that nature. And ordinarily, I would be using my pokey stick, but I believe for my, yep, can you see that? For this particular pokey stick, they fixed it in later models, but my pokey stick did not go all the way through. So what I do when I have to use this, or when I want to use this, is I use a push pin. And that way my pokey stick goes all the way through. They have fixed it. If you happen to own a different version, they have fixed it. But I was one of the ones that got the first versions and it wasn't fixed. So I found out a way of fixing it myself. So what I do is I have to be very careful with this particular stencil that I poke the correct holes. So I put a push pin there, and I put one here so that I can line up the rest of them. And then I poke here and there and there and poke that away. Okay, here's my push pin. So let's get started. Okay, so I have all of the holes poked. It took a little bit longer than I was expecting, so I went ahead and just stopped the camera so that you didn't have to sit and watch all that. What I have is my DMC floss box. And what this is all of the current close to my heart colors that I could find in DMC thread. So what I want is I want candy apple. And what I've done is I have a list of my colors on this side so I know what I've got. And then I just made some little labels. And my friends will make fun of me because I label everything. But I just have some labels on each of the little bobbins. So I want candy apple, so I'm going to pull candy apple out. And I'm just going to separate this down from 6 threads to 3 threads, and I'll show you in just a moment. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to separate all 6 of these into 3. And then what I do, just to kind of keep it from going everywhere, is I just wind it around my 2 fingers. And I only do this to enough of what I think I'm going to need to make the project. So I'm going to set this one aside. I may need it again, so I'm going to set it aside. And I'm going to find my favorite needle. I think it's the one that's got the white on it. Yep. And then I'm going to get a threader and my needle. I'm going to move my tomato so it doesn't go overboard. Now these threaders, you can get them at the grocery store, you can get them at a hobby store, but I used so many of them that I ordered a lot of them, an actual LOT lot from Amazon. There was 1,000 of them, and I keep them in a mason jar. Just lining up the edges real fast, straightening my thread, and then what I do is, it's going to be hard to see the pattern on this side, is I'm going to start here, and I just pulled it completely through because I didn't slow down my roll. These are my thread and fabric scissors. I do not use my paper scissors on thread or fabric. I'm just going to tape down the end. So then I go in the next hole. I keep hitting the camera, sorry. You'll see the pattern emerge in just a moment. So So there you get the gist of it. I'm going to do the rest of this off camera because this particular pattern is really hard to do on camera. So because of the way I need to turn the paper. But that is what we're going for. And I'll be right back. Okay, so I have finished the stitching for both sheets. And let's lay out what we did earlier. I'm going to do the left side first, like I always do. I'm going to open the complements. Now on the original, these buttons, just pick whichever one you want, but they have one right there. Just one. And that doesn't do it for me, so I'm not going to do that. That's one of the reasons why I added the stitching. So let's see, we need poinsettias. There they are. So we need poinsettias. For these I'm going to put, they're adhesive, but I'm going to put a little bit extra adhesive because it's going over the fabric. Or it's going over the stitching. And I want it to have just a little bit extra sticky power. That fly is seriously driving me crazy. The weather has been so beautiful that I have the back door open in the afternoons. So of course I get a fly in the house. Where is... Oh, it's right there. Okay. I'm going to pull up this holiday... Oh, it's... Put that one back. I obviously can't talk and do this at the same time. On the cutting guide, this particular word looks black, but it is actually gold. Now we need a stocking. And that is the left side. Now we're going to work on the right side. Sorry, had to take a bit of a time out. My husband called. And when your husband calls, you take the phone call. sure my page is straight. Now that fly didn't fly around the entire time I was talking to Mikey. I think I'm going to, are these adhesive? Well, let's do the other things first. Let's do the candy canes. We're going to go over there, so, yep, that's got plenty of room. So the candy canes are here, and then I need some so I got that. Need a tiny bit of my score tape. Put it there, and then this one. Oh my goodness, there is some. There we go. All right. Score tape on that one. And then these snowflakes I pre-sprayed with my, that's not it. I don't have any over here. I pre-sprayed it with some sparkle spray, so they are shiny. And I believe I put them side by side. I'm trying to decide if I want, oh really? Oh man. Alright. I did this page upside down. Because I guarantee if I do this, they're going to line up. Oh well, don't make the mistake I just made. But it's okay. It's only paper. It'll be alright. I'm trying to decide if I want to put a button right there, but I think it would be too much. So I'm going to leave it alone. So, okay. Page 1. Page 2. And together. And then if you want to see them with the paper all lined up, there you go. It's upside down, but it works. So anyway, I know there are 101 other things that you could be doing with your Sunday morning, so I need to thank you very much for spending part of your Sunday with me. If you would like to purchase this workshop, please go to myscraproom.net, hit the shopping tab, and then this is under kits on the Close to My Heart page. Until next time, bye-bye.